Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So we're jumping right into the look because that's just what we do over here. So we're gonna start off by filling in the eyebrows. You guys, I want to get to this eye. Okay, I want to get to this eye. So we're just doing our standard super carved and pronounced eyebrow. I went in with the L'Oreal brow stylist pencil, and then I'm just taking two Tarte concealers that I mixed to get the color that I want, and I'm just using that to define the top and bottom of her eyebrow. And I'm gonna bring that color all the way out towards the beginning of her nose. I'm using my Shop Miss A concealer brush. I think this is the 134 brush. I'm not sure. I'm trying to learn the brushes by heart. So once I have that initial color down, I'm just going to go in with the Born This Way concealer in the shade Toffee. And I'm going to use that on the inner portions of her eyebrow and also the beginning of her nose, just so that we have a color that's a bit deeper, because I really just want the brow highlight to be in the brow bone area. Then I'm going to take that same concealer and I'm just going to conceal around the first half of her eyebrow. I'm not going to do the entire brow because that's something that I can get to towards the end of her makeup. To save me time, I like to just go in and just carve out the beginning of the eyebrow and then I can move on. It really does save time, and it just helps because, you know, you have people back to back to back. You need to figure out ways how to like make the most out of the time that you have. Once I have the concealer on, I'm just going to take a dense concealer buffing brush and I'm going to just blur that out and also bring a bit of it onto the lid as well. Now I'm going to go in with my eyeshadow primer and I'm going to just apply that onto the skin and blend it into the concealer that we had on the lid. And I really don't know why one eyebrow looks more defined than the other, but that's neither here nor there, honey. We about to get into this eye, okay? If you have my eyeshadow palette from Glow Up Academy, girl, baby, we gonna get into some things. And if you don't have it, get it so you can recreate this look, okay? So the first color that we're starting off with is Mascot, which is just a deep teal color. It's a blue-green, so I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. No, this is Wet n Wild. I'm gonna go in with a Wet n Wild eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to pack that into the crease area, and I'm going in a round shape. So think of it as an upside down U or a sideways C. That's the shape that I'm going to create on her eye. So then I'm going to go into Extra Credit, which is this purple color. It's not too deep of a purple. It's kind of like in between light and dark. And I'm going to tap that onto the eye as well, but I'm going to bring this up slightly higher, just above that blue, literally right on top of it, because I want those two colors to merge and blend together. Also, I'm tapping downwards, so I'm bringing my brush up off of the skin. I'm not dragging it on the skin. It's a up, down motion, and I'm making sure that I'm working downwards. The next color that I'm going to grab into, I actually mixed two colors. So I mixed PTA and Sophomore. I'm going to do the same exact motions, but this time I'm going to take a fluffy blending brush just so that the color is a bit more diffused, and I'm going to again work that directly on top of the purple. I'm layering my colors, making sure that they're blending in together because I'm just hitting the edge of where each color stops. And again, I'm working my way down because I don't want to blow my colors up. I want to keep my colors contained. Sometimes when you're working with 3 shadows or more, you're gonna lose color as you keep on tapping on a different color. Always make sure that you're also using different brushes, because if you don't, your colors can get a little bit muddy. So I'm gonna go back in with my purple And I'm just gonna tap it back on. And when I mean tap, I literally mean like boop, boop, boop. Like I'm popping the color back in. Popping the color back in. Because I'm not really trying to blend too much. I want the color to be seen. And if I'm popping it in like lightly, then I can kind of get that blurred effect that I want without having to do too much. If I was to go in and pack this color in and then try to blend it out, girl, bye. Like, that's just too much. We gonna be here. I just want to pop it back in and kind of fade it into the edge of the pink. I'm gonna do the same thing with the pink. Go back in with my fluffy brush and just pop directly, like literally on the edge of where the purple is, because you want those two colors to meet. Alright, so what I like to do now is just go back into wherever I feel like I might have lost some color. I want just a little bit more of that blue to show. Not because in the final result we're going to see a lot of blue, but I'm kind of using that blue as like a deepening factor. I needed to add more, I'm kind of using it as you would a black, like if you was to be doing a smoky eye and you're using brown, so you're using the black for more definition. So I'm using the dark blue for more definition, so I just wanted to make sure that I was adding that in, because where I'm going to cut my crease, I want it to be a bit darker. And I'm just going to complete the same exact steps on the other side. Alright, so this is what we have so far. And I'm just emphasizing the shape that I created with the eyeshadow. It's very rounded. And yeah, it's literally like a half moon, like a half circle. So I like to really round out the eyeshadow even when I am doing a wing cut crease. I don't know, I just like to do it. I have no idea why. So I'm starting off my cut crease, and I like to first kind of frame out both eyes. It just helps me. And I'm just actually looking at an imaginary line. So if you're more of a beginner and you want to make, I know some artists, like, they make like dashes on the eye because it kind of helps them and you can trace that. Absolutely do it. I don't do it because it just saves me time to just skip that step. So I just kind of visualize it because I'm a visual person. And I'm just mapping out the eye. I know that I like my cut crease in the front to be a bit rounded. So I'm just rounding that out. And then when it comes to the outer corner of the eye, I'll just go in to wing it out. I always like to go in and open up that inner corner. It really helps me see like the shape of the cut crease, if I want to change the shape, if I like the shape. Something about opening up the inner corner just really helps me. So I'm always sure to stop cutting the crease. I stop to do that when I'm feeling like, let me get a feel for it. So I just took a small little detail fluffy brush to do that. And I'm right back to cutting the crease and getting the shape that I want. So when I'm winging out my cut crease, I like to pull the eyebrow up because it helps to kind of just pull the skin up and out of the way. Like, it just makes everything nice and taut so that you can glide your brush and get nice straight lines. I like to do this after the fact. So after I've created my cut crease, after I know this is where I want my cut crease to be, that's when I'm going to pull up the skin and start to straighten my lines. Because if I go in initially pulling the skin up, I'm going to cut my crease way too high. I know that I don't make things clear. I fall for you every time I try to resist. We can get away. Chase beach views and every day. All I wanna hear is an episode that we play. Sit right next to you. So I like to go in with just a fluffy synthetic brush to pick up any extra product that's on the eye from cutting the crease. I'm using the p.louise Blink Canvas, and you do not want to leave any extra product laying around, especially if you plan on putting eyeshadow on top of it. No ma'am, it will just, no. It just won't be pleasant. So I'm just making sure I'm tapping off any excess product that I do not need. And you always want to make sure you're pulling that product downwards, especially from where you've cut the crease, because it tends to product tends to gather up in that area. Brush that I use to buff out the concealer around her eyebrows, or whatever products left on that brush, I'm going to just use to blend and blur out that base onto her skin, just so that there's no like weird harsh line or anything like that. I also don't want the base to dry beige on her skin because it'll peek through underneath the concealer and foundation. Alright, so I'm just going to do the other side off camera and get them as even as possible. And we're going to move on to eyeshadow. So for the inner corner, I'm going into MVP, which is just a matte white eyeshadow. And I'm just placing that there so that we have that there. Yeah. I always like to do I try to always do my inner corner color before I move on to the lid. Then I'm going to go into a little bit of that cheer because I just decided that I wanted to add just a little bit over that pink. I don't know, I was just going with the flow, you guys. This was definitely like a freestyle look. When I plan my looks out, I typically like look at whatever palette I'm working out of, and I pull colors out that I want to use, and I go from there. As long as I know what colors I want to use, I'm good, and I can just like, you know, build a look off of that. So I just went into cheer just because I just wanted to. There's no reason, literally. Like when you're doing looks, child, just, at least when I'm doing looks, as long as I have my set colors that I'm going to use, I just pick up those colors and work. So for her lid, I'm going to go in with Extracurricular, which is a nude beige color, just your standard nude beige color. And I'm going to just tap that onto the base. And I'm using this eyeshadow brush from Top Tier Beauty. I really like it to pack on my lid colors. So yeah, I'm just going to do that all over the cut crease. I'm also going to bring MVP a little bit inwards as well. I fall for you every time I try to resist. We can get away from these beach views and then every day. All I wanna hear is an episode that we play. Sit right next to you. I try not to show how I feel about you. I'm gonna go in with cheer, and I'm gonna start to build my ombre moment up. So I'm just starting at the lash line and just working my way up. I didn't really know how exactly I was going to do this. I just knew the colors that I wanted to use. So I'm just starting off with cheer first. There's a lot of different ways to do this step, by the way. I do it different a lot of times. So yeah, from cheer I move on to PTA, and then I just take a blending brush and just kind of buff cheer out a little bit, because I don't want it to be like super opaque. I kind of want it to be sheer. I want it to look like a wash of color. So from there I went on to Extra Credit, which is the purple that we used. And again, I'm just building, but kind of lightly building, you know. I want the color to kind of look soft, kind of like watercolor vibes, okay? So I'm just going to do the same exact thing on the other side. I didn't do the same exact thing, but we got the colors on there the same way. So yeah, I'm just working my colors in, and I'm being kind of light because you are packing shadows on top of each other, and you want to be careful. These shadows just so happen to work really well together. They're all from the same palette, so they layer on top of each other really well. But keep in mind that you do want to use a light hand, because working with matte eyeshadows can be very tricky. the next thing I'm going to do is go into my glitter set. I believe this is Pep Rally. I'm going in with like this coral reflective glitter. It's like a chunky glitter, and I'm just gonna focus that on like the lighter portion of the eye and kind of fade it out towards the color, and I'm just gonna stamp that on. And of course I'm using eyelash glue as my adhesive. Now I'm gonna start to work on our jewels, honey. So we doing pearls today. I don't think I did any more. I can't remember if I did rhinestones, but we gonna see. But yeah, I did some pearls. So I mixed some colors, poured them all into my little tray. So I'm using pink. I'm using a light, these are like pastel colors, by the way. So pastel vibe. So yeah, it's like pink. I think it's like blue, a light blue, a light pastel orange, and a cream. So yeah, I'm just going to work these pearls onto the eye. And yeah, we're gonna create this art, child. So the inspiration for this look actually came from like Coachella, like it's Coachella season. Coachella's over now, but when I filmed it, it was like, you know, we was in Coachella, but you know, it's a little delayed, but that's neither here nor there. So this was inspired by Coachella. I'm manifesting doing bigger things with my makeup, and hopefully next year I get to see my work on a Coachella stage. But I would definitely, I can see this look on a lot of different artists that perform at Coachella, and like the City Girls would have ate this up, or different variations of it on other artists as well. And I'm just doing different variations of styles and colors to my liking. I finished up the pearls, did her lashes, and finished up her face off camera. Okay, so finished up her face and everything off camera. We did the lashes, and now we're finishing up the eyes. I'm gonna add just a little bit more white eyeshadow. We did her waterline, which was just like a deep purple, and smoked out her bottom lash line with some blue and some pink. And this is the completed look, you guys. Definitely Coachella inspired. I would love to do a look like this on like JT or Young Miami. I could definitely see this look on them, especially for something like Coachella. Or like, there's so many other artists that like I could say her name, but yeah, y'all get the point, child. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. I hope you guys are inspired, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Be sure to tag me on all of your recreations. I love you guys so much, and yeah, stay tuned for more. Bye, guys.